Hello everyone, in this tutorial I want to show you how to set up Falcon Selection Box in a 3D environment. I'll also give a brief explanation of what the tool is supposed to be and what it's supposed to do. So we'll jump right into it. We go to Unity, go to our Falcon Selection Box folder and open the documentation. And I'll go through the introduction. What is the Falcon Selection Box? It's a tool that allows you to quickly and easily add a pointer selection tool like the one in the most popular real-time strategy games. If you remember, most RTS games have a way to select your units with a box, and you can drag this box with your pointer when you click on the screen, and anything inside this box will be selected. This tool aims to provide this solution for you and make it a little bit easier when you try to develop these games. So now I'm going to go to the quick start. We go to the quick start step-by-step 3D. No coding required. So we go to quick start. Step number one, of course, open a new scene. We have our new scene in here. And then step number two, we go to the Falcon Systems window, located right below Window Falcon Systems. You'll see this little box pop up with several buttons in it. I'll explain what each one does in a little bit. Step number three, make sure the 3D button is selected because we're using a 3D environment. So we have our 3D button, and then we click the Init System button. This will create a Falcon System object in your scene with all the required components. So we will go ahead and do that. Init Systems, and you'll see this game object got created. If you go to the hierarchy, you'll see Input Manager with the component, and it also added the event system of Unity, provided by Unity, sorry, with all its required modules. Now we go to the next step, which is we also have to initialize our camera. We go to the 3D camera, make sure it's selected in here. So we have our camera. By default, the system will recognize a camera, but if this is not the camera where you want to render your 3D box, you can always assign something different here, right? You can just drag and drop here, or you can select and drag one from your scene and select one from your scene, sorry. And right after you have your camera selected, you click the Init 3D Camera button. This will add the GL box selector and physics raycaster scripts to your camera. The box selector is the script in charge of rendering the box when you drag the pointer on the screen. So basically, I'm using OpenGL to render the box, and I'm using the onPostRender function that has to be in the camera. That's why this GL box selector has to be in the camera. And it also uses the physics raycaster, because remember, we're using Unity's event system here. So whenever you click on whatever is firing the signal, it will use this physics raycaster. That way it'll work on mobiles, and it'll also work on any platform that Unity's event system supports. Okay, great. So we have our 3D camera set up. Let's go to the next step. We will do some testing. We'll add a plane to your scene and set it up to a position where you can view it with your camera. With the plane selected, click the Set 3D Selection Area button. Okay, let's do that. Let's go to, we'll say add a plane. Okay, 3D object, plane. Now I'm gonna reset it here. Where's my camera? Let's move this here. So my camera, let's put it at an angle that works properly. Put it here. Okay. So a little bit more. Let's go to our game view. Okay, I can more or less see it. It's not too bad. We have our plane, and then With the plane selected, we click our Set 3D Selection Area button in our helper window. So we select our plane, Set 3D Selection Area. You'll notice a new component in the selection area called Drag Handler. This is basically what will fire all the events of dragging on the input to our system. Now, if we click play, we'll be able to see some results now. See? You can see the box being drawn. Notice though that you need to click on the plane. If you click anywhere else, it will not draw the screen. This also helps to uh, have the selection only happen on a surface that you want. You don't want to select anything outside of whatever it is that you consider your surface. That's why this Unity system is also very helpful with that. Now let's add some selectables. We'll add a cube to the scene and set its position to be above the plane. And then we'll do the setup with our helper window. So we'll go ahead and do that. We add the cube. Uh, and put it on 0 here. It's like in a weird angle. Right there. Okay. And then just make sure we can see that. Perfect. And with the cube selected, we set 3D selectable example. Why example? Because I'll explain later, but with the example script, you'll be able to see a change of color. So we go ahead and do that. Set, select our cube, go to our window, set 3D selectable example. So you see our script in here, and you can see the colors that it's using. So we go ahead and test that. By now our box should select our C. Now it changes color because it's recognizing the signal, the event, and we selected. Notice also that if you start a selection event, it'll unselect the box. So it selects it and also unselects it. We go ahead to the next step. Yeah, hit play. You may have noticed that clicking the cube does nothing. Oh yeah, this is another feature. Basically, you can also aside from dragging, you can also click an object to select it. It should work basically the same, it's just a different event. So we go to set 3D click listener in our helper window. Notice also how I'm using the documentation easily in case I forget something or I don't remember the exact name. I can also use the documentation just to, oh, okay, it's set 3D click listener. Okay, so we click on set 3D click listener and notice the click handler in here, sorry. We click play and we click and it selects it. And it works in parallel with the drag handler. Notice also that if I click something that doesn't have the signal, the event for dragging or clicking, it won't do anything. So basically, if you click and you click on the surface, because it doesn't have the event signal, it won't do anything. So in here, you notice how I use the box and it unselected the cube. So that's it. Basically, you now on this scene, you have the system set up, ready to work, and you can try a few more things, like if you want to get a little bit more familiar with the system, you can play around with it, you can change the color. Let's say, for example, I wanted to have a green color in the box. You can change the tint, the selected color in here, and see how the cube is now green. This, of course, is not a production script. This is just for you to test. Let's say also that you wanted to have your box not be filled and only draw the lines, you go to the camera, to your GL box selector, and untick the filled box. Notice what happens. See how now it's not filled? And you can also do this while playing. Check the filled box, and now it's filled. And that's it. That concludes the tutorial for setting up the 3D environment. I hope it was useful to you, and see you around.